Hello, hello. I am back again. I'm here to talk about this upcoming full moon in Capricorn. We just had that new moon in Gemini, which was really so fascinating to me because I did my recording completely unaware that the new moon in Gemini was going to be falling on the same day as the White House UFC event, as well as the president's birthday. So I really didn't know that at the time. And here I'm talking about all of this stuff about entertaining, and I was kind of blown away at how literal the astrology was playing out for the new moon in Gemini. And this is how astrology works. Kind of blows my mind all the time, but I hope that everybody had a fun new moon. I thought I, yes, I was thoroughly entertained by everything, for better or for worse. I considered everything going on at the White House quite historic. The day before the full moon, which was on, so the full moon was on June 14th, and the day before that, on June 13th, Nitro Circus with Travis Pastrana and his buddies showed up to jump the White House lawn, one of the lawns, one of the areas. I can't remember which one, but you should look it up because that actually was really cool to see and amazing. Just amazing. I can't believe it. And you don't have to like the person that is our president to be seeing that what is playing out is just divine timing. This is astrology in action. It is amazing, actually. So I just wanted to say some of that before I get into the talk about this upcoming full moon in Capricorn. It's gonna be um quite a different energy than the new moon was, because now we have moved into Cancer season, and will summer officially started. It might be warming up a lot where you are. Well, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so it's getting warm here, but it's not as hot as it's going to be once things get going. So I feel lucky to be in a fairly mild zone right now as summer starts. Uh, but yeah, so we're in Cancer season, and this is where eventually the yes, Mercury is going to go retrograde on the same day as the full moon. That's very interesting, right? And Jupiter also goes into Leo on that same day, just a few hours later. So I think that's interesting. And let's look at the chart. And today I'll be bringing some fixed star information into my reading because I always include fixed stars in when I'm looking at astrology. I just haven't included it in my talks here yet because I needed to figure out how to get the right chart to show up. So I spent all night last night, not all night, but I spent a long time last night figuring it out so that I can show what I'm talking about. Let's see. I did say I'm going to share this chart. So first off, I'm going to just share the normal charts that I normally do. And we can see that this full moon in Capricorn will be happening on June 29th, 2026. It's a Monday for me in the Pacific Northwest. So you can adjust accordingly for yourself. Be happening at 4:55 p.m. And so here is the chart. And we've got the sun in Cancer at 8 degrees and the moon in Capricorn at 8 degrees. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the archetype of Capricorn for a minute, because we are talking about the axis of the winter and summer solstice here. So the sun is in summer solstice, and this is why we're experiencing the summer beginning. And the moon over here is where the winter solstice is close by. So this is the archetype of the moon here. And this is why some astrologers will say that Capricorn moon is cold. And that may be true by logical definition of the winter solstice placement. But one of the things about a Capricorn moon is actually they make a very responsible leader. People who personally have Capricorn moons, they want to make a difference by being useful, by being a good leader, a good teacher, a good administrator, and they are good at knowing what works and what doesn't work. The Capricorn archetype is just very good at attuning to what works and can see because Capricorn and Saturn, they belong to the same archetype. They're the builders of structures. And if something doesn't work, you're not going to get a structure. You're not going to get anything that represents anything livable or useful. So, the first step is to basically understand, know, learn, and just know what works and what doesn't work. Capricorn archetype is usually concentrated on getting things done, good at having a good focus on accomplishments. Um, and Capricorn energy, a Capricorn archetype is really about the keepers and the trackers of history. These are the record keepers. And that opens us up to understanding why Capricorn energy is generally about wise ones, the elders, the grandparents, because these people have had the most experience with what works and what doesn't work. They have time, and time is another thing about Capricorn and Saturn. They have had a lot of time to experience things. It doesn't mean that all old people have had the kinds of experiences that make them wise, because if you have been really sheltered your whole life and resisted experiences, you may not be as wise as you could be at an older age. But in general, the Capricorn archetype is about, like respecting the elders because they know the things. They've got the wise um, knowledge, they've got the knowledge that needs to be passed down ultimately. And um, one of the things that gets talked about with the Capricorn and Saturn is the idea of karma. And what is karma? It is a responsibility that you have held on to, and your karma is based on whether you have fulfilled that responsibility or not. And so that's why Capricorn is most associated with karma. It's because it's about time, it's about the responsibility and the accomplishments. Did you do what you needed to do while you were here? And that's the ultimate question that Capricorn asks and Saturn asks at the very the endings of a person's life is, did you make a difference by being useful? Did you build anything? Because we all have Capricorn in our chart somewhere. And so this isn't just about people with a strong Capricorn energy in their chart. And especially right now, because the full moon is going to be in Capricorn, this is going to be the focus for a lot of us. And it might be depressing. But this depression is meant to fuel the fire for learning how to make a difference or for learning how to do something new that will build something. Because it, Capricorn is the builder of all kinds of structures, not just physical buildings, but ideas also. Certain ideas have to get built. We have to figure out what works and what doesn't work. There is an issue that keeps popping up on social media for me as I'm scrolling, and it's the issue of homelessness. And we have been trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what is going to be the best way for building something for the future so that so many people, don't face not being inside of a home. And that's very much the focus and concern of this axis between Cancer and Capricorn. Because on the other side, you've got Cancer. The sun is over there in Cancer. And Cancer is all about the home, all about nurturing. And so we we need to consider that what we're building is for future generations of our own families, our own loved ones. What we're building is to nurture the future. And, this is going to be a major theme coming up right now with this full moon. Let's see what else. Um, the shadow side of Capricorn. Now, this is important to remember because these issues also will be coming up for you to be looking at because that's just how this works also. So, being stuck in old ways, being stuck in the material level, getting caught in trends, like trying to accomplish something based on a cultural trend, because Capricorn is a lot more timeless and is about conservation of what is true and real. And so getting pulled into trendy issues is not really what we're supposed to be doing. Control issues are going to be coming up. You're going to see where you feel like you're out of control or you have no control. And it serves a purpose. Um, every time a control issue comes up, it's really meant to remind you that you have no control over anything other than yourself. So, and that is part of the Capricorn archetype of like doing the good job, and so that you can um so that you can build something. Yeah, control issues. They're going to be coming up. I just totally distracted myself. Let's get back on track. All right. So yes, one of the other things about the shadow aspect of Capricorn is overworking. And this is a cultural theme throughout different parts of the world that will probably be facing um, like overwhelm, exhaustion due to overworking. We'll be able to see where we need to step back and pull more fun and joy into our life. Because when you overwork, it's an imbalance. It's not the same as building something in a sustainable way. And that's one of the things about Capricorn is sustainability. And this theme will keep popping up about what is sustainable because it is essentially based on what works and what doesn't work. So what is sustainable? Because that's what works. And overworking yourself is not sustainable. You will overwork your body, and that's when you're out of balance with this sun in Cancer. One of the main things that people do when the sun goes into Cancer is going on vacation and enjoying the summer season and going visiting a lake or a river or the ocean. A lot of the times it is water play because it gets so hot. And all of that is about enjoying being on this earth, enjoying being in your body, and enjoying what life has to offer. You know, the sun is giving life at this point. The sun is nurturing everything into a point of fruition. We are growing, we're literally growing our food with the sun right now because it's the time of year to do that. And so that's what all of the hard work is about, but we really have to balance it out. And so the shadow side of Capricorn is like taking things too seriously, overworking, being trying to be too perfect, and um, also scapegoat syndrome. So the idea that you have to take on all the burdens of the world. And this theme is coming up for all of us. You might be feeling like you have to change the world because nobody else is going to do it. This is a very dark aspect for the Capricorn energy because nobody can build anything on their own. You know, it's literally going to take that village, that Cancer village to help complete the structures. that we're working for or the ideas that we're working towards. So I think that remembering that we need to keep balance, because the idea that we might all feel a little bit of depression this time, because that is one of the things about Capricorn energy. But it's just meant to show you things when you go inside and you go into your heart and you you say, like, what do you really want to build? What do you really want to focus on? Because that is one of the things about Capricorn is, you know, the the Capricorn energy feels lost without a purpose. And I think that the the energy that we all are going to become enlightened to, because full moon is like full light on something. So this Capricorn moon is highlighting several different things. I think that specifically this Capricorn moon is highlighting how people have been stuck, whether it's in a material world or stuck in an old way that doesn't work, but it feels like stuck energy that is going to be amplified by the fact that Mercury is stationing to go retrograde on the very day that we have this full moon. And Mercury is stationing to go retrograde in the sign of Cancer. And I talked about it a little bit in my Chiron video, I think. But Mercury, Mercury going retrograde in Cancer is really about going inside yourself and feeling how you feel. Now, Capricorn energy might want to distract and work through feeling the feelings. But that's why I am being so adamant that people need to balance this work, this drive for building something. Um, there's just a lot of that right now. There is a lot of drive to do something, to build something, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. Um, but we really need to take the time that Mercury is going retrograde to just step back for a minute and let your ideas just simmer, let it all simmer. Because with Mercury going retrograde, it's probably a good idea not to uh, sign any contracts or get into any kind of commitment that you might be wanting to reconsider in the near future. And so, as long as you can put things off, I would suggest during this particular Mercury retrograde, because it's in Cancer. And, the sign of Cancer is very personal, and the moon is the ruler. And so, this is one of the reasons why I bring up this Mercury retrograde, is because it's in the sign of Cancer, which the moon is ruling. And so, the moon is really highlighting this Mercury retrograde, stationing to go retrograde on this day, as saying, you know, if your mind feels foggy and if you can't figure things out, then it's okay to give your mind, your brain a rest. It's okay. And that's one of the things that I'm seeing. And when I bring the ruler of the moon, Saturn, into the picture, we look at it is in Aries, Saturn being in an Aries. And Saturn in Aries is not really wanting to sit back, doesn't really want to chill. Saturn in Aries is just gonna want to keep going and keep building and um, possibly even lose sight of what what the purpose of it at all is. Because I'm pretty sure that most people, if you're listening to this, can agree that uh, humans tend to build things for no reason. There are times we can see that things are being built that are just totally unnecessary. And this drive to put data centers in everywhere, everywhere, and everywhere. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe what I've been seeing with regards to all these data centers being proposed to be put everywhere. And are they even going to be necessary? Do we even need all that? Or is it just a drive to build something because you're competing, because all of the builders are competing? And that's what I can see. That's definitely what I see with Saturn being in Aries is this drive to build just to compete, not necessarily because we are actually doing anything useful with our resources. And when when I was looking at this, I was like, I think I need just a little bit more information here. And since I was able to get the fixed stars to show up, there we go. So this is the chart. Make sure it's showing this one. Yeah. So this is the chart like that we were looking at with the full moon, but now it has all of the Ptolemy, the important fixed stars, the ones that Ptolemy were considered the most important and assigned the most meaning to. And both two of the planets that I've been talking about are both conjunct fixed stars. So Mercury is conjunct Procyon, and Procyon is the star that is in Canis Minor. So this is little dog, the little dog, not the big dog. Procyon basically signifies that it comes first. It is the star, the one that comes before, is what it's called. The one that comes before, which seems to be some kind of signal. It's signaling something. And another thing to consider about Procyon is that it really signifies that things are in transition. It's one of the meanings that's been assigned to it. Um, that things are in transition. And most specifically, Procyon in conjunction with Mercury is speaking about adapting to changes, uh, to adapting to changing situations. That's what I have written down there. Um, I think that that's interesting because what the main reason why I love evolutionary astrology is because I'm studying and talking about and thinking about and analyzing all the evolutionary changes. And so to see that Mercury is stationing right there on the 26th degree where Procyon is, and is going to be staying there for a minute. So that is definitely a connection. It's definitely communication going on between the little dog, the star of the little dog that comes before the big dog, Canis Major, which has Sirius in it, right? And Sirius is attached to the sun for the 4th of July, and we'll see that coming up too. So I think it's interesting that Mercury stationing right there is really bringing into our minds the idea of adapting to changing situations. There's something very, very high level about this changing situation. And we can all feel it. We can all feel that there's all these changes happening, and whether or not our bodies are able to cope with it or not really has to do with how we mentally perceive it. And so I, I believe Procyon is a very beneficial um, fixed star, and it really, it really says to me that we're all getting a very, very high signal, even heavenly signal beyond the planetary sphere. Just it's helping us with the ideas on how to adapt and how to change. Because I think that we have been stuck, that Capricorn, this Capricorn full moon is really going to help us see where we're stuck. And then that Mercury retrograde right there on Procyon is like a gift. Even though this Mercury retrograde might be rough, it's a gift. It's a gift coming in about how we are, you know, how we keep going, how we proceed, how we evolve. But it has to be in our minds first. And that's the beautiful thing, because if you study the Hermetic um, philosophies, one of the main principles is the all is mind. And this is really what came in for me when I saw this, is that, oh, the all is mind. And the little dog is going to help us with that. The little procyon. Um, One of the things to mention, though, about this procyon and Mercury conjunction is that there is a opportunity to gain, whether it's, I suppose, wealth or health or, just gains, because that's how they talk about it in the fixed stars world, is gains. So if you're looking for to gain anything from this, then you have to get it now because it may be gone later, which is an interesting thing to think about, considering what is going on right now with our 250th celebration and stuff. It's gonna be here and then gone, and so if you want to enjoy it, enjoy it. If you don't, then you don't. And but I have a feeling that if you don't enjoy the gains from right now, then you're missing out. So whatever that looks like to you, whatever comes in for you, because where you personally have 26 degrees of Cancer is where this is really coming up in the theme of your life. Like what house it's in is really gonna give a lot more information as to where these gains are gonna be coming from. And I'm just speaking generally when I say that the 250th birthday anniversary celebration of our country is it's happening now, you know? It's not happening later. I remember I was born in 1977, and that's 1 year after the um, whatever they called it as the 1976 celebrations of the 200-year anniversary birthday of our country, and I wasn't alive for it. So that is something to consider. You may not be alive for another celebration like this. So just observe it. Just look and just watch, you know. You might be just a little bit entertained. And especially for the people that are going to these events, um, it's another one of those things. These people, they're going on vacation and they're enjoying life. And that is one of the things about Cancer season. So, um, it's just something to think about with regards to big changes going on and adapting to these changing situations. And lastly, the fixed star Alpha Rats. I am not sure if I'm saying it right. And it is conjunct, or sorry, Saturn, transiting Saturn is conjunct Alpha-Rats at 14 degrees of Aries. And that is the ruler of this Capricorn moon. And the meaning of Alpha-Rats simply is speed and freedom. And in one story, Alpharatz is the head of the daughter of the king, the celestial royal family, um, King, I can't remember his name now. I should have wrote it down. The king and the queen all up in the sky, and Alpharatz is a star in Andromeda, and she is the princess, the daughter of the king. And in the sky, in the constellation, she is um, accepting the prince, accepting a lover, and it is about fertility and feminine receivership. It is about that. If you're looking into it from that perspective. Another story about Alpharats is that it is the navel of Pegasus, which I believe that fits better with regards to the um, analysis of speed and freedom, because it's really about, um, the analysis of Alpharats is about freedom, the love of movement. And, we see this in horses. They love to move, they love to have the wind through their hair. And so do we, right? The humans who like to ride on them. And could you even imagine, if you're a horse person, could you even imagine being on a Pegasus? It's just the ultimate speed and freedom, and just flying to the height of the gods, right? And so I like the personally, I like that it's the navel of Pegasus because I feel like it just fits better. And but also talking about fertility, and there's probably something in there with regards to um horse Pegasus horse lore and fertility also. I just wasn't able to dig that up for this video. So I'm curious now, and I'll probably be doing a little bit more research on that. But specifically here with Saturn and Alpharet's conjunct, we've got transiting Saturn that has moved into conjunction with this fixed star that's about speed and freedom and the love of movement. And I just thought that this is interesting. I get this information from Bernadette Brady's books about fixed stars. Just throwing that in there. Um, but Alpharet's conjunct, or Saturn conjunct Alpharet's, is an occasion when a society is led into new ideas by an architect, and this is just kind of, yeah, an architect who is willing to take the long, hard road to make dreams come true. And I just thought, wow, wow, isn't that really cool? That is the information that I needed about this full moon. I don't know about you, but the occasion when a society is led into new ideas. One of the people that is as an example of Saturn conjunct Alpheratz is Michelangelo, actually, painter of the Sistine Chapel. And that really paints an image, pun intended. It really does. That we're looking at that something new that's going to be awe-inspiring and just keep the Pegasus in mind, speed and freedom, flying. And I feel like flying is going to be one of the things that comes up because we're right on the verge of having, flying taxis and stuff like that, and having things delivered by drones, by flying things. And so um, there were a couple of things that I read about that um, I'm going to let myself digest them before I really talk about them in a public way. But I think that flying is going to be one of the things that pops up on the radar for this full moon. And so we'll keep an eye out for that. All right. So I just thought that last little thing, or adding in the fixed stars, because I always love looking at the fixed stars to see what is in store, what what heavenly thing is in store, because the planets move in this almost mundane way when you look at the fixed stars. And I truly love the process of that. All right, so I think that this video has gone long enough. I'll stop sharing that. And wow, thanks for joining me again. And I will be back for another video. If you didn't catch my Chiron video, I made that last week about Chiron going into Taurus. And that video will be very useful for a long time. So if you didn't catch it, then you might want to check it out and see what's in store for the Chiron and Taurus things going on. So thanks again. I hope that you got something out of this. And I enjoyed going over the astrology. And I really hope to see you again next time. Um, thanks. Like and share if you feel like it. All right. Till next time. Goodbye.